Okay, I just checked the pump. It's running fine. The water system is at full pressure. So we should be getting really full blast water in here. Because I know if I turned on the water in the house right now, I'd get full blast water. Okay, well, that's an interesting problem. I don't understand why some of the emitters or some of the lines are working fine and why some of the lines are not working fine. I've never had that happen before. I've always had a very even distribution on these emitter heads. Interesting problem.
The ever important operating instructions. This tells you how to set it up, how to operate it, and the maintenance schedule for this engine. There's a nice 30 amp twist lock adapter. This allows you to connect the generator to a 30 amp RV plug. There's an oil funnel that allows you to fill this generator to the right amount of oil. It has a longer spout that allows you to reach inside and not spill oil all over the inside of the generator. There's also a toolkit. It has essential tools for working on this generator. Now, the older versions of this packaging didn't have all of these tools. This is really nice. You have a spark plug wrench, a handle for that wrench. This is a 12 volt charging setup. You plug this into the 12 volt outlet on the generator, and then you connect this to a battery. Let's see what else is inside. Aha! A Phillips head screwdriver to remove the screws to take the various panels off. Well, let's go ahead and get this out of the box and we'll start getting it set up. We're supposed to have rain, according to the forecast, in about 2 hours. I'm not so sure about that. It looks like it could be coming even sooner. Well, I just moved the camera and it's starting to rain. So I guess the weather forecast wasn't exactly right. So I need to hustle and get this set up. Now, there are two things that need to get done. One is I need to remove this cover right here and connect the battery. The unit is shipped with the battery disconnected so that you don't accidentally have an attempt to start it. And it's raining, so I got to get inside.
This one says pressure compensating dripper. Each dripper gives 1 gallon per hour at any pressure between 15 and 55. Okay. So this should be giving me 1 gallon per hour no matter what I do. think this is also a pressure compensating one. Yeah, this one says the same thing, but it is expecting a different sort of supply chain. I don't know. I don't know. This is really very, very annoying. As you can see, the tomatoes are still doing well. The problem is we're going to be going on a trip next month on business. Not going to be gone for a huge amount of time, but it would be nice if the plants could just run on their own. Now, it doesn't seem to be a huge problem here unless we have hot days. Well, it's Arizona. You can't guarantee at this time of year we're not going to have hot days. Now, by next month, it will have cooled down a little bit. I mean, we already have cool nights, which is helping. But yeah, there's definitely something still very wonky on this.
I'm out in the greenhouse. Irene's down in the studio working on some waxes for a casting session that we're... Go away, fly. For a casting session that we're going to be doing later on this week. The things that we've tried so far, that's mostly Irene changing the emitters and the time that the irrigation runs, haven't exactly worked out completely. So there's now 2 more things that could be causing the problem. Well, there's 3 things, but I think one is not really at work, and that is the water pressure. We have 2 valves here in the greenhouse. This valve at this end here seems to be working fine. It's delivering water consistently. It's reliable. There's no problem. Ironically enough, the valve that feeds the other end of the greenhouse is where we're having the problem. So I don't think it's the water pressure. It's possible, but I don't think so. There's 2 more things that could be going on. These valves use the solenoid. It's just an electric gizmo to move a plunger up and down. That turns the water off and on. I'm going to exchange this and that other valve to see if that fixed the problem. Now I've turned the water off to the irrigation system, so there shouldn't be a lot of water spurting around. What I need to do now is exchange this solenoid in place of the one that's there now. Oh, that Thai basil is nice. There'll be a little bit of water come out because this irrigation valve is fed by a hose, and the hose has some elasticity in it, which will mean there's pressure still in the line. So let's just finish getting this unscrewed. That's unscrewed. Put this back in. Now I put this lever back in position so that the valve will operate automatically. Now there's 2 wires on this solenoid. I need to take the 2 wires that are currently attached to the wire bundle off. And that's going to be a bit of a pain because everything is back here behind the plants. I'll see if there's anything I can move. I don't think there is. No, you really can't move anything. Well, that basil still smells great. Okay, I just need to remove these 2 wire nuts. Pull the wire from the solenoid off and run the wire from the new solenoid back to those 2 wires and connect them back up. It's pretty easy. It's a good thing this Thai basil is pretty tough because I have to really be in here pushing on it a bit. There's one wire nut done. I dropped the other one in the Thai basil, but it didn't go very far, which is nice. So now I just need to attach this to the other wire. Now there's no polarity. That means there's no need to worry about which wire goes to which wire. That is the solenoid to the controller, because the controller uses an AC signal. That's the same kind of power that you have in your house. The difference here is this is low voltage. It's only 24 volts and it's very low current, so there's not a lot of danger, but it is something to be aware of. Well, I think what I'm going to do now is when Irene comes up for lunch, I'll get her to check out this newly reconditioned valve to see if it's working right. We'll see. I just talked to Irene. She's going to be coming up for lunch. She's going to stop here in the greenhouse and we're going to check this out and see if it's helped a bit. There's a couple of other things that have to do with that solenoid that we can also check out. That'll be in just a few minutes. Hey Irene, I changed the solenoid.
Oh, cool.
So, did you turn the water back on?
Yes, I did. I'm seeing water flowing down here on the...
We'll go about that in a minute.
Right.
So, why don't you go ahead and try turning it on for a minute or two.
Okay. Okay, it's on for 2 minutes.
I think you have water now. Is that one coming out at all?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out slower than the ones up top.
Is that looking better?
Can't tell if there's really a lot of difference. It seems like the ones up top are doing better than the ones, in other words, they're supposed to be putting out more water.
Right.
Let's see. Check this guy. Yeah, it's better. It seems to have better pressure.
Okay, I think part of what was going on is that old solenoid.
Mm-hmm. And these are new valves.
These are new valves.
Yeah.
But if you look at the end of it,
Uh-huh.
it had schmutz on it. Schmutz, that's a technical term.
It is. It is. Depends on what language you speak, but it is a technical term.
So this one was not going all the way in.
Ah, okay. So it's a faulty solenoid.
Looks like it's a faulty solenoid. I'll keep this because we'll do some other tests on it later.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, this seems to be running much better.
I think the changes that you've made and the one I just made looks like it may have the irrigation under control again.
Yeah, it seems like it has much better pressure in this section of the system. So that's a good start. Now these down here are looking a little dry. I may run that again too.
I think it's time to run everything.
Yeah. I may need to increase the number of minutes that they're running for or something. Shouldn't, but you know, I'm still seeing too much dryness in some of the trays here. So yeah, this does seem to be working better back here, so we'll see what happens next.
Down there.
Down there.
Down there. Let's take a look. There's a lot more water went in.
Yeah, it seems a lot better. This one over here, which has been very dry, is now a lot better. This one could still use a little bit more, but it's better. Okay, well, that seems to have improved things a bit at least. So
You gonna run it some more?
tomorrow. Tomorrow should be soon enough.
So what do you think, Irene?
Better, definitely better. This section here is definitely doing better. I'm not 100% convinced we have all the problems solved, but I think it'll work well enough to make it work now, which is the whole point.
I think we're a lot more than make it work. It's a matter now of running it and seeing how much water we actually get through. The water pressure between the two valves is the same. There's no obstruction in the pipes,
Right.
which is good. I think the problem here was that solenoid. There's a potential that it could be one more thing, but I'm not going to go there yet.
Not going there yet, huh? Okay.
Now it requires taking the valve apart,
Okay.
which I can do, but I'd rather not.
Yeah, start with the easy fixes first.
Well, that's what you did. You changed the emitters.
Right,
Then I changed the solenoid, which I think was the root of most of the problem.
right.
And if I need to do more, there's a rod in that valve that might be missing, but I can't imagine it's missing based on how much water came out when we just ran it.
Right, right. Okay, well, then what I need to probably do, I have to look.
This is another valve.
Oh, I know this is another valve, but this ran also. And I'm looking at the amount of water in the buckets, and it seems pretty reasonable. I don't have a way of increasing more than I've already increased on some of these, you know?
Right.
So I think we just let it run for a couple of days now, and we see what the plants think, basically. I like the fact that this one is, having changed the emitter on this one is no longer soaking wet, which was really bad for it. You can see this plant's not looking very happy. I also need to check the dates.
I think it's probably ready to pull the sweet potatoes out of that bucket.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I'm loving the fact that the nasturtiums are really starting to bloom now.
Want a
pretty.
flower?
No, I'm good. Can eat it.
All right.
They're good in salads.
Well, let's get back at it.
Okay.
You gonna take Jack for a walk?
Yeah, I'll take him for a short walk, and yeah, he's already had a little walk. I checked the water tanks.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, of course he is. He's like, you take me on a leash, and then you leave me standing around while
Don't forget your phone. I do like the flowers on the sweet potatoes.
They are pretty. This is the first year our sweet potatoes have ever